Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone. So our topic for today is about network security. No? So again, as what I've mentioned earlier, so this will be the course intended learning outcomes for the network security. So we could able to understand and recognize common network types. We could identify options for connecting to a network, understand wireless security, understand purpose of access control, and we could identify common biometric security techniques. Now, again, as I mentioned, no, networks or a computer network is a group of two or more computer system linked together by communication channels to allow for sharing or resources and information. So the device on a network are called nodes, no? The nodes, no? Nodes can be connected using any of various types of connecting media, including, of course, we have twisted pair, no, copper wire cable, optical fiber cable, coaxial cable, and radio waves. Now, we have a lot of common network types. Now, we have the LAN. No? What is LAN? LAN is an acronym. It stands for
Local area network.
okay, local area networking. So a local area network is the smallest type of network, no? Usually extending over a small area within a building. So when users connect their computers to the LAN, they can access shared resources such as internet connections, network drives, printers, as well as other users' computers. Now, when logging on to a LAN, users need to input their username and password. No? Once authenticated, they are able to access the services on the network depending on the type of permissions assigned to their account. And this ensures that users are only able to access files, folders, and services that they are given right to access. Okay? So that is LAN. Another types of network is the WAN. WAN stands for, what is WAN? Stands for what?
Wide area network po.
Okay, wide area network. So wide area networks can extend over a large geographic area. If the local area network is the smallest type of network, again, extended a small area within a building, the WAN can extend over a large geographic area and are connected via the telephone network or radio waves. So many modern companies have offices, okay, shops or factories in various locations around the country. So for example, Bench, no? Bench in SM Santa Mesa, SM Santa Cruz, SM Batangas, SM Pampanga, SM Manila, SM North, and so on. And for large corporation like San Miguel Corporations, Meralco, across the world, no? Even though the staffs works in different places, they often need to be able to access the same information no matter where they are. So by linking LANs together by network is no longer local to one building. It is now spread over a wide area network. It is known as WAN or wide area network. So basically, a WAN is where individual computers or LANs which are a long distance apart from each other are connected together. No, they generally will not share hardware or software unlike a LAN. The largest one in existence is the internet. How about WLAN? WLAN, of course, is the wireless local area network. No? A wireless local area network allows mobile users to connect to a local area network via a wireless connections. No? It provides a link between two or more devices within a limited area such as an office, home, school, or office building. The other one is the VPN. What is VPN? VPN.
Virtual private network po.
Okay. A virtual private network allows user to access their private network over the internet. So for example, even the dean, no, of the Cainta Catholic College could able to get the informations from the Cainta Catholic to their homes, no? Users can access their shared networks resources, now printers, intranet sites, databases, and other devices in their organizations remotely through an encrypted connections. And and this allows the user to send and receive data as if they were directly connected to the private network. A virtual private network typically uses encrypted traffic and tunneling protocols to establish a virtual point-to-point connection between the user and the private network. So, therefore, the role of the network administrator is very important. A network administrator is a person responsible for the maintenance of computer hardware and software that comprises a computer network. And this normally includes deploying, configuring, maintaining, and monitoring active network equipment. So, an important component of the role of the network administrator relates to security. So, security-related activities of a network administrator covered managing authentication and authorization of users' account on the network, maintaining staff access to required data, of course, no? On the network, and ensuring network usage is in line with ICT policies, and monitoring and installing relevant security patches and updates, monitoring network traffic, and dealing with malware found on the network. So, what are about the functions and limitation of a firewall? Because we are talking about network security. So, again, a firewall is a program or a hardware device that can be used to help protect a network from hackers who might try to break in and, of course, gain access to your data or company data. So, the firewall filters the information coming from the internet connections into your personal computers or into a company's network. Because firewall serves as a barrier between the internal network and an external network, such as the internet. So, when any traffic from outside the network tries to access the internal network, the firewall checks against a set of rules. And any data coming from an authorized source is blocked by the firewall. Okay? So, it is essential that anyone who has access to the internet makes sure that they have a firewall installed. However, despite its necessities, there are some limitations to a firewall. And what are those? Of course, the viruses. Take note, not all firewalls offer full protection against computer viruses, as there are many ways to encode files and transfer them over the internet. Another, of course, is the attacks. No? Firewalls cannot protect against attacks that do not go through the firewall. So, for example, firewall may restrict access from the internet. Because, for example, during your face-to-face, maybe the network administrator of Cainta Catholic College, no, not allowing you to open a social media site. That is because through firewall. But may not protect equipment from dial and access the computer system or users connecting their infected laptops and other mobile devices to the company's network. And that is an attack. In monitoring, no, some firewalls can notify if a perceived threat occurs, but may not notify if someone has hacked into the network. Many organizations find that they need additional hardware, software, and network monitoring tools than firewall alone. Now, how about the network connections? Opens for connecting to a network include a cable connections. For example, let's say for example, using an Ethernet cable. A wireless connection, for example, using a laptop or mobile device. Now, excuse me. How about the security implications of connecting to a network? Anyone can connect an unsecured device to an unsecured network and can gain access to the resources and data. And this compromises the devices that are on the network, including servers. So, like malware, unauthorized data access, and maintaining privacy. So when it comes to malware, the interconnectivity of device on networks allows for malware and viruses on an unprotected device to spread to other devices easily through an unsecured network. Unauthorized data access, because an intruder or hacker can gain access to the network and may read its unprotected data. So as a result, confidential or sensitive data can easily be compromised, exposing, for example, intellectual property of the organization's members to the public. So, when it comes to privacy, connecting your device to a network may open up the possibility our information held on your device being accessed by other network users. So, proper network security implementation will reduce or eliminate these threats. How about the wireless security? Wireless network can be a convenient way to connect to the internet. Of course, no? Especially with your mobile devices, like laptop, computers, or tablets. No? When searching for available wireless network, some connections are unsecured and other are secured networks. Unsecured networks do not require any form of authentication to connect any devices to the wireless network. Therefore, it is not advisable everyone to connect in a network who do not require any form of authentication to connect your devices. Because wireless connection have the same security issues as hardwired connection. Wireless connection, however, do not have the same physical restriction like hardwired connection, which requires two devices to be physically connected. So, what are the types of wireless security? When we say wireless security, it is the prevention of unauthorized access or damage to computers using wireless networks. So, if you use a network that is not security using wireless security techniques, then you run the risk of an eavesdropping accessing your private data. So, there are actually common types of wireless security. I think you are familiar with, especially for those who have a globe at home, no, or yung smart bro, no, you are familiar with WEP. What is WEP? Is there somebody who know the acronym of WEP?
Wired equivalent privacy.
Yes. So WEP is a type of security standard used by wireless network. It is still used to support older devices, but its use is no longer recommended. WEP uses a network key to encrypt information sent from one computer to another across the network. The encrypted information sent using this standard is relatively easy to crack. That's why we have WPA. So WPA stands for actually we have WPA2, the WPA. What is WPA?
Wi-Fi protected
Okay,
access.
so Wi-Fi protected access. So the WPA encrypts information that is exchanged between two connected devices, and it also ensures that the network security key is not easily obtained. So WPA also authenticates users and only authorizes these authenticated users to connect to the wireless network in exchange data with other devices on that network. Again, there are two types of WPA authentication. We have WPA and WPA2. WPA is designed to work with all wireless network adapters. WPA2 is more secure than WPA, but it might not work with older routers or access points and some older network adapters. Again, WPA is designed to work with all wireless network adapters. But if you want to have a secure one, use WPA2. But it might not work with other older routers or access points in some older network adapters. Another one, of course, is the MAC address filtering. So the MAC is media access control. No? Each network interface controller or network adapter has a unique 48-bit hardware identifier or the MAC address. This value can be set into the allowed filter list of the wireless points security setting, and thus only connections from this device is allowed. So however, a hacker could set a valid address on his device to connect and gain access to the network. Also, it may be difficult to maintain a list of permitted MAC addresses. Now, connecting to wireless network. If you have a device such as laptop, you can see a list of available wireless networks and then connect to one of those networks. So no matter where you are, the wireless networks appear only if your computer has a wireless network or wireless network adapter installed and the adapter is turned on. Now, so of course, the most commonly, if you are now familiar, no, with the different sample taskbars, no, so you just simply click the network icon, then of course choose the list available wireless networks and click a network, then click connect. Now, secured network required a network security key or password. To connect to one of those networks, ask the network administrator or the service provider for the security key or password. The list of available wireless network indicates whether or not a network is secured. So if you do connect to an unsecured network, you need to be aware that someone may be able to access your activity, including the website you visit, the files you send and receive, and the username and password you use. Take note. If you do not connect to an unsecured network, you need to be aware that someone may be able to access your activity. So for those who are always joining in a pre-web and a pre-internet connection, take note of it. Always be aware that someone may be able to access your activity. Specifically, your website visited, your files saved in send and receive, and other username and password. So when you view available wireless network connect to a network, wireless networks that are not security enabled are flagged with a yellow shield icon. Okay. Now, how about the access control? Okay, So now, we may proceed to the access control. I think everybody, especially you are a fourth-year student, you are familiar with network accounts. So a network account is needed for a user to access the network, and a user is assigned rights and permission together with the network account when the account is set up by the network administrator. So this determines what the user can do on the network. So there are certain cases, especially in your school, no, that we have what we call admin, no, admin account, user account, and others. Now, so passwords needed to be set for all of the other network's computer system. This helps ensure that only authorized users are able to access the computer system and network. And I think you are also familiar with the term validation. So once you hit 3 times incorrect password, maybe you will be able to set your computers to shut down or to disable just for 30 minutes, 1 hour, and so on. So the good password policies must be applied. So in order to protect computer system from unauthorized usage and data theft, a good password policy must be put in place and continuously practiced by all users. So a good password policy should include maybe always use complex password of at least, again, 8 to 12 characters length, which include upper and lower case, numbers, and special characters. Number 2, avoid words found in the dictionary. Number 3, change password on a relatively regular basis. For example, monthly. Okay. Number 4, avoid using password that include your personal information, such as your name, birthday, or spouse name. It is not advisable. Never keep default username and password such as admin, root, or password. Consider using a password manager software instead of, for example, writing down password in sticky notes. It is not advisable. So for example, if you are unaware that you shared your computer, so what will happen? If you save your password in your sticky notes, do not use the same password for different services. So for example, in social media, you are using, for example, 18, 21, 25, 35. In email, you may use 67, 47, 98, 39. Now, do not use, okay, same password with different services. Do not divulge or share your password with anyone. No? Do not share your password with anyone. Now, everybody are also familiar with biometric security techniques. I do know that during your software engineering, you develop a software with biometrics. No? So if I am the panel, I'm always asking, how about the security techniques in your biometric? So biometric authentication is a security method used to protect physical and digital data. Fingerprints, irises, retinas, speech, facial features, and other aspects of behavior and physiology are all used in biometrics authentication to administer access to a computer system or physical space. Fingerprint scanning, facial recognition, and voice recognition are 3 biometric authentication techniques that individuals, corporations, and military facilities frequently use. Okay? Now, so how about the fingerprint scanning? The fingerprint scanners are sometimes used on laptop and desktop computers and flash drive. No? Fingerprint authentication is the most popular and least expensive, of course, method to authenticate using biometrics. The fingerprint readers or scanners record the unique series of lines, words, and arcs that make up your fingerprint, no, allowing only prints with a statistically significant match to log on to a system or network. So most commonly, for example, in our cell phone, no, so we are using our fingerprint. Okay, hand geometry. Hand geometry identifies a user by measuring their hand along many dimensions and comprising this with stored measurement. It has been used since 1980s, meaning it was the first biometric in widespread use. Although it is still a popular option, other biometric methods use a fingerprint scanning have overtaken it. Facial recognition. So at present, our cell phone has also a facial recognition. So facial recognition authentication is a security technique that records and measures your facial features such as the distance between your eyes, the height of your cheekbones, and additional characteristics. So facial recognition systems can offer a heightened level of security only if the template image is effectively captured. So for this reason, if you use facial recognition security software, be sure the template images are created using proper lighting and color, lighting and focus. No? Another one is the voice recognition. In a large company, no, they just use voice recognition. So this security technique works by matching the pattern of a person's voice to a template recording. So voice recognition is not the same as speech recognition. Take note of it. In that the words being said are not as important as the way in which they are said. One problem with voice recognition security software is that it does not account for voice changes due to emotional states, sickness, or other reasons. So if you encounter problem with your voice, napaus ka, so that is the problem in a voice recognition. Okay, so I think that's it for the network security.